At KBLA Talk 1580, we do Black history every single day. In fact, as the only Black talk radio station west of the Mississippi, we are Black history. Our annual Black History Month luncheon is fast approaching, and we want to be sure to give you ample time to get your company, organization, church, or group to join us at this year's celebration on the last day of the month, Thursday, February 29th at noon. Last year, we honored iconic local Black media personalities, including Pat Harvey, Jim Hill, Mark Brown, Beverly White, Sandy Banks, and Pat Prescott, and raised $20,000 in scholarships. This year, we're honoring Black Hollywood creatives who have used their artistic genius as climate justice champions. At this year's luncheon, we will be showcasing and sharing their inspiring work on our big screen. Plus, a scrumptious meal, live music, great company, and lots of fun with your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts. So contact us today at info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. That's info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. We hope to see you Thursday, February 29th as we close out Black History Month. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your Black.
Bobby Brown. Welcome back into hour 2 of RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. If you were just joining us, we have been talking the 2024 Grammy Awards. And of course, we're going to get into Kandi Burruss announcing that she is leaving Real Housewives of Atlanta and some more stories. One of the stories that I caught about this whole Jay-Z Dr. Dre Impact Award that actually has nothing to do with the music or what Jay-Z said was Dee Barnes. Now, I don't know if you know or recall who Dee Barnes is. She used to be in a rap group back in the day called Body and Soul. She also was the host of a show called Pump It Up. And if you remember on Pump It Up, famously, she had NWA on, she interviewed them, and then at the end of the episode, she showed a snippet of an interview with Ice Cube. Like, they were dissing Ice Cube on there. Like, they had some crazy puppet and it was spitting out ice cubes and stuff like that. And Ice Cube came back with a diss. Well, you know, Dre, who was about 25 at the time, I believe this was in 89 or 90, and he attacked Dee Barnes for that episode airing. Really, really hurt her, beat her very, very badly. And, you know, there was a civil suit later on, things of that nature. But it is something that, as far as related to Dre, sometimes comes up. Well, Dee tweeted last night that she felt it was ironic that Jay-Z was standing up for his wife while accepting an award named after an abuser. And, there was lots of commentary. She went on to add that she didn't feel that Jay-Z did anything wrong in speaking out about her. But in situations like that, and of course you never can say, but how do you move on from something like that so that it's not still so much of your identity? Like, I know that sounds easy to say, but it kind of hurts my heart too that she still lets it be so much a part of who she is and why we hear from her. I don't know. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. I am not, saying anything negative or saying she should just be quiet. I'm just asking, I'm sure Dee is in her 50s at this point, and we know that she has had, she felt she was blackballed from the industry, a lot of things. There was a monetary settlement at one point, but at what point do you have to, for yourself, stop holding on to that pain and that hurt of something that happened when everyone was in their 20s? Andy?
This is coming from a place of empathy, but like Jay-Z said, you need Jesus in your life.
I mean, 100%. I just, I really feel for her, but I also feel that, there's more that she can contribute than talking about what happened when Dr. Dre attacked her and that one thing. Pump It Up had a lot of other artists that they talked to and interviewed. She was a female in hip hop back in the day, Let's Dance to the Go-Go Beat Now. That was my joint. Her and Rose. Rose also, random fact, y'all know I got him, was an extra in House Party when they showed that little scene at the opening with the grind scene. That was Rose. Anyway, Andy?
No, I was just thinking about why she didn't say anything last year when they presented the award when they presented that award to Dr. Dre. But
maybe she did. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if she had.
Okay.
But
I understand maybe why she didn't. If she did or didn't, if she did not respond or reply or whatever, have something to say, I can understand. But, I can understand why she responded today, or yesterday, considering what Jay-Z had to say with regards to the Dr. Dre award. I can understand that.
And so, just so we're clear really quickly, the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award pays tribute to artists who have used their platform to give back past just the musical medium. So that's what the award's all about. When we come forward, we'll get into more of these trending topics and headlines. You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. By any other name, we demand environmental justice in 2024 and beyond. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. You know, the YouTube chat is always lit. I tell you all the time, if you want to add a visual experience to this audio expedition, please check out our YouTube channel right there, KBLA 1580. Kendi in the chat says, we were speaking of Dee Barnes and her comments regarding the irony she felt about Jay-Z receiving an award named after Dr. Dre. Kendi says her association with Dre is the only reason people know who she is. There's nothing for her to talk about unless she talks about that incident. And as I said before the break, Pump It Up was a groundbreaking show when it came on. It was syndicated in a lot of places. It was led by a woman. You know, I don't think at that time Rap City had made its premiere yet. Certainly Yo MTV Raps was out. And she also was in a rap group. They were signed to Delicious Vinyl. I think that they were the first females signed to Delicious Vinyl, which is a huge West Coast label, that's indie label that started back then out of a pizza shop. So, and as Urban Spinster pointed out, Dee Barnes also was married to Ricky Harris, you know, ta-da, the comedian. He does a lot of skits on Death Row, Dr. Dre, Snoop, etc. albums he did before he passed away not too long ago. So, you know, there are a great many things that Dee Barnes could get into. See, you weren't even aware, Kendi, that she could share, that she has knowledge on the early days of hip hop, a lot of things that she saw in the indie scene out here in LA. So, you know, but I think it can be sometimes maybe difficult for some. Not sure. But hopefully she finds peace and she's in a good space. Forensic accountant says F. Gary Gray sure has escaped scrutiny for his part in the Pump It Up incident. Not the beating, but his provoking of the back and forth between NWA and Cube. Well, Forensic, you are actually one of the few people that actually remember he was involved in that. He did start off as a cameraman for KTTV, which is Channel 11 here in LA, which is where Pump It Up aired in LA locally. That's how he got connected with it. And I mean, you know, this was so early. I don't think anyone thought, as we sit here in the middle of beef between rappers now, but I don't think anyone thought that it would end up in the way that it was, you know? So, again, I wish Dee a lot of healing, and I would like to see her discuss other things, not just that, because I feel that there are contributions that she could make, and there's parts of her story that people would love to hear that don't have to be connected to that. Thomas Outlaw says, I thought Dee was running with Roland S. Martin and Black Star Net. Perhaps she is. Perhaps she is. And Forensic Accountant mentions Dee's presence in the We're All in the Same Gang video. It is. Body and Soul did have a little quick 16 or 8 count on there. That record was land breaking. There was self destruction on the East Coast. We're all in the same gang out here. Same type of thing. Stop the violence, increase the peace. We know those things came up really hard in hip hop, late 80s, early 90s, but different perspective because, out here we're C's and B's, All right, listen. I also think that it is interesting. We know it's campaign season, right? So our president, Dr. Joe Biden, and his wife, Dr. Jill Biden, flew into LA on Saturday to meet with some entertainment industry leaders. Not just any entertainment industry leaders, Black entertainment industry leaders, to have discussions, I guess, about the upcoming campaign and looking for support, etc., etc. They weren't in town for the Grammys on Sunday, but there were some secret meetings that took place in Bel Air on Saturday or something. So, just letting you know that's out there for you conspiracy theorists so that, you can put what and what together. Obviously didn't help with the Grammy wins, though. Maybe next year. We'll see. Okay. We know that Super Bowl is coming up this weekend, obviously, and we're getting ready for the Usher Bowl. And Usher has done everything right. His album is dropping in a couple of days. We've seen the single. It's a little Afro beats vibe. He looks amazing in it. We know tickets for the tour are dropping on Monday, right? We're all in place. He had his Club Shay Shay interview that dropped last week. We're set up. He was just on Good Morning America. Well, this morning, another piece of the puzzle dropped into place. Usher has launched a Skims campaign with Kim Kardashian. Go check it out if you're an Usher fan. Great pictures, great campaign. I'm telling you, Usher better be up for some Grammys next year, the way that all this is coming down. So we'll have to see. We'll see what the album looks like. Gave you a hint of what to expect as far as collaborations the other day. So we'll have to see, do we think Usher will get a number one? What kind of vibe do we think that will come from this little ditty? I'm unsure. He certainly has all the momentum with him. So last night we also discussed, we just talked about Victoria Monet last week. And I said that, that's my Taurus queen. I'm a Taurus, so big ups to Taurus. But what I thought was so special about her story is that, she said she moved to LA 15 years ago. She's been grinding. Some of your, well, maybe not your favorite, some of my favorite songs from Ariana Grande, the Positions album, and what was the other one that she wrote a great deal on? I can't remember. Ariana always shouts her out, though. Victoria Monet singles. T.I., Victoria Monet, he has some stuff that she dropped. Can't remember. It was like, I think it was T.I. and Nipsey, and she wrote the hook on it. Yeah, something that they were on, and Victoria Monet wrote the hook. I feel I might be getting it mixed up, but I know it's a song she wrote. I feel like it was something with them on it. I have to think about it or go look for it. She also has written for Fifth Harmony, etc., 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 right? And we know she got 3 Grammy Awards last night. She said that she had been practicing manifestation. She had been practicing a picture of holding her Grammys, like you would cradle a baby. And we saw that in real life last night with her photos. She talked of having a binder of a PowerPoint and her music, trying to secure a label gig. And, she had her meeting. Labels take go-sees all day long and will just put your music and your press kit to the side. A Black woman at the label discovered it, called her up, decided to become her manager, and here we are. So believe in yourself. She's 34 years old, winning Best New Artist of the Year. And we know, still a baby, but for some, especially if you look at what happened to music in the late 2000s, the late 90s to the early 2000s became very teen oriented, became very young across the board. You think about the Brandys, Aaliyahs, Monicas, the boy bands, and the Britneys, and the Christina Aguileras, and all of that. That is part of why I feel like people were like, oh, you age out of music. Oh, you're 30, it's over with, because there was a period of time where the focus got very, very young. Before that, our artists were a little more mature, you know? So I think we're moving back to having artists occupy space in all age ranges. And I hope that her story gave you a bit of inspiration. Keep working. Jay-Z said it. You see it with her too. Keep working. Andy?
The name of that song, T.I., Nipsey, Victoria Monet, was About My Issue, off of T.I.'s album called Paperwork that was dropped in 2014.
Okay. So see, I was like, I know she did, you know. So obviously not a well-known track, but she wrote the hook. It's, you know, it's a good song. It's cool. So her songs for Ariana, big, you know, she does her big one. So I appreciate her pen game. It's serious. And, you know, we talk a lot about Taylor's pen. Hopefully we'll be talking about Victoria's pen like that as well. And Blue Ivy is not the only one that has a Grammy. Her daughter, Hazel, who was with her, is a Grammy Award winner too now at this point. So listen, shout out to the excellence. Shout out to perseverance. You know, I know that sometimes we feel like we get put in a trick bag. Like you said, we have options. We can value our awards that are from us, by us, and really value them. Show up, give our best, encourage them, and treat them just like anything else. We also can stop letting ourselves be a victim all the time. You know, sometimes it just is what it is. And if you really know that you have the love and the support of your fans, which a lot of y'all do, the streams show it, you know, I get it. We all want acceptance from some level. We all want to be acknowledged for our gifts. But at some point, sometime, and I'm not saying you got to make a big show of it, just keep it moving, and which they did for a little while. Pay it dust. Andy?
Would we be satisfied as a people if, for example, let's just hypothetically say Beyonce was nominated for Album of the Year again next year, and they do highlight, you know, the hip hop album, they have a hip hop performance. Would we feel happy about that, or would we feel as if like, oh, they're just doing this just to, you know, check this box off the part? We got the black part out the way. Like, do you think that we would feel like it would be genuine as opposed
We're never happy. We're never satisfied with the stuff. You know, if they give us a crumb, we like, man, you could have gave us a scrap. If they give us a scrap, man, you could have gave us that whole extra of, and not like that. I'm not saying that there aren't moments when we don't need to take up space and demand that. But I do feel like we sound the alarm for so much now that ultimately really isn't as important as we are making it to be, that it lessens the importance of the things that are really, really, really things that we need to have a rallying cry around. You know, it's not quite the boy that cried wolf, but it's something like that, just because everything is not level 10. And I'm not saying these things aren't important. I am not saying that these things don't matter. But what I am saying is, let's put some of this stuff in perspective. We can't win every time. We sometimes aren't the best in show. And sometimes when they give us those here dams, we're mad because they gave us the here damn. So, you know, I don't know what to say. Andy, go ahead.
something just unrelated to, you know, what we're currently talking about. But, you know, before I came to work today, you know, I was just kind of, you know, thinking about the little bit of the Grammys that I saw. And I was just like, you know, even though the viewership went up, I just feel like these award shows are missing epicness, if that's even a word. You know what I mean? Like the artistry doesn't seem epic anymore. I remember just 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you would tune into an award show and just be amazed with everything. And I didn't get any of that.
Because we're overexposed. I mean, I feel like, we've talked about it a little bit, that I feel like it's the death of the movie star. There are no more movie stars. There are movie stars, but there are no more movie stars. I think that we are too familiar, and it may not be a bad thing, no one should be worshipped in that way or things of that nature, but we are way too familiar with we see them too much. Do you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, we would see 106 in Park, BET Awards, Grammys, American Music Awards, maybe the Billboard Awards, maybe a late night show, maybe a talk show, but we literally can see our favorites every day. Bonnet first thing in the morning. What kind of meal they like to have. This is what I look like when I'm working out. This is the type of machine I use. I use this soap in the shower, and it's not necessarily a commercial spot. We see them too much, so it's harder to be amazed and wow because they're regular to us. And I think that's also why we pick them apart so much. Do you know why they're so quick to break them down and to go through them? Because we're familiar. It's common now. And again, there's nothing wrong with that because they're not deities. They shouldn't be placed on this unreachable platform. But, Forensic Accountant says not the bonnet. Thomas Outlaw says, is it wrong to ask the Grammys to focus less on the awards and more on collaborations between artists and camps from all genres? I mean, there are awards from that, but I think, listen, fundamentally, there is nothing wrong with the categories and the things of that nature. They've obviously changed the show. It's working out as far as the performances, even though we're complaining about some of the awards we're not seeing. The voting body, we don't know who it is, but it's the voting body. It's the voting body. And they aren't necessarily connected in the same ways that we are. So I don't know what we can do about that. One of the things that I was looking at is that the Grammys contract with CBS is up in 2 years. So I was wondering what was going to happen kind of with the show. But as you see the ratings going up, I guess they're going to re-up and we're going to get that check, that bigger thing. But I think the key thing, the most important thing, the biggest lesson is value our own awards. If we put more stock, if we put more appreciation into these awards, where they come from and what we mean, we won't feel as much heartbreak and hurt from these others. That's just my opinion. When we come forward, we're going to get into Kandi and the Real Housewives and talk about who is coming back to replace the 14-season veteran. All of that and more on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The prosecutor behind Donald Trump's Georgia election interference case is responding to allegations of misconduct. Fulton County DA Fani Willis, in a court filing, admitted she had a personal relationship with an outside prosecutor she appointed to manage the case against the former president. The defendants in the case accused Willis, who is black, of benefiting financially by hiring special prosecutor Nathan Wade, her alleged romantic partner, for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and want the case to be dismissed. Willis said there is no evidence the relationship prejudiced the case. A hearing on the allegations is set for February 15th. AMC Theaters is offering audiences discounted tickets to celebrate Black History Month. This month, the $5 Fan Faves program will return to AMC, and theaters will offer 2 daily showings of certain films for $5 a ticket. Each week will have a different select movie with discounted tickets. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do Black history every single day. In fact, as the only Black talk radio station west of the Mississippi, we are Black history. Our annual Black History Month luncheon is fast approaching, and we want to be sure to give you ample time to get your company, organization, church, or group to join us at this year's celebration on the last day of the month, Thursday, February 29th at noon. Last year, we honored iconic local Black media personalities, including Pat Harvey, Jim Hill, Mark Brown, Beverly White, Sandy Banks, and Pat Prescott, and raised $20,000 in scholarships. This year, we're honoring Black Hollywood creatives who have used their artistic genius as climate justice champions. At this year's luncheon, we will be showcasing and sharing their inspiring work on our big screen. Plus, a scrumptious meal, live music, great company, and lots of fun with your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts. So contact us today at info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. That's info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. We hope to see you Thursday, February 29th as we close out Black History Month. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your Black.
LADWP is proud to partner with KBLA to share with you how to start the new year without bill worries. We're here to help if you're behind on your bill or need help staying current. Sign up anytime online for Level Pay to set predictable monthly payments throughout the year, including for past due amounts. You can also check out the special extended pay arrangements of up to 48 months to help pay down your bill. If you're a senior or income qualified, you may be eligible for Easy Save to receive discounts and also qualify for free and discounted energy and water saving devices. You can get up to $15,000 for past due water and or sewer bills and up to $3,000 for electric bills. But you gotta act fast. Funding is limited. You can reduce your past due bills and kick off the year right, because here at LADWP, we're here to help. Visit ladwp.com/cares today and find out more.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your vid. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm King News, and I come to you with the truth. The mean streets took 6 more lives overnight, all the result of gangbang stupidity. By the way, you gangsters should know, one of your victims was a 3-year-old girl. Local gang members, you still don't get it, do you?
It's straight up madness everywhere I look. Used to be a straight A student, now he's a crook, robbing people just to smoke and shoot up. Used to have a crew cut, now he's a poop butt. Dropped out of school and he joins the neighborhood gang. Hanging on the street selling cane to his own people. Now when I say people, I mean color. You a stupid motherfucker. I'm trying to stress the fact that you're dumb. Get yourself presentable, son, and just come together. You better, cause pretty soon it's gonna be too late. A message from King T the Great.
Sisters, since we are the mothers of this earth, it's time we start being good mothers from the birth of our children. No time for sleeping, teach them to fight and win for the right reason. It's your time, it's your life, live it. Proud to be black, young and gifted, lifted by the knowledge and taking the right route. Gang violence needs to be wiped out. ALMIGHT CNDZIRE. We see the FUTURE should be a positive thing. Body and soul and you, we're in the same game.
One and the same.
So shout out to Body and Soul. Shout out to you, Kendi. You just got a bit of a hip-hop education. We appreciate you always coming through, lightening up, sharing your opinion. Welcome back into hour 2 of RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So listen, I promised you a Black History Month fact, a new one. We're going to do this every day throughout the month, new and old. So my one for this month, a sports one, well, this day, February 5th. It's a sports one, of course. It's a new one, and I have to share. So on Friday, February 2nd, USC freshman Juju Watkins scored 51. Don't forget the important detail that it was against number 4 Stanford, and the final score was 67-58. You understand what I'm saying? USC scored 67 points. Juju scored 51 points. That young lady is going to be doing damage, havoc, wrecking shop when she finally gets to the WNBA. She's one to watch. She's right here from Southern California. Keep your eye on her. I'm going to keep lifting her up because academics as well as performing on the court, I think that's important. And she's homegrown, so shout out to her. That's my Black History fact. And also, this one is just an FYI. Y'all know what a fade is, right? We all know what a fade is. A fade is like, what, number 1, 2, or 3 on the black man's haircut chart, right? Has been for a very, very long time. We all know what a fade is. We love a guy with a fresh haircut, fade, whatever, right? Well, apparently, Travis Kelce has created the fade. I don't know if you guys have been seeing these stories that have been popping up all over, but they even interviewed Travis Kelce's barber. His name is Patrick Reagan. And he's out here telling people that he made the fade haircut iconic because Taylor Swift likes it. And they're saying that guys across the country are going into their barbers. Obviously, they're saying men of the Caucasian persuasion. And are requesting the Travis Kelce. What is even more infuriating about this? None of these outlets seem to recognize that this hairstyle is already in existence. Has been. Forever. Like I said, it's number 1, 2, 3 on the barber chart thing. I don't even know if they still do that. But a fade is in there. So, you know, it's Black History Month. You cannot be giving credit to Travis Kelce for the fade. We are not having that. I know at one point in time, he was extended your cookout invites and, you know, people felt he was DWB. He has obviously switched it up slightly, and that's okay. That's fine. But we will not be giving him credit for creating the fade. So we just had to get that out of there. Okay, so listen up. Oh, by the way, I know you're wondering where they were saying that. You know, New York Times. Just so you're aware. Okay. So this was the 66th annual Grammy Awards. We talked about a lot of things that have happened in various places over there. Well, one of the shockers that happened on the red carpet was when Kandi Burruss announced that she will not be returning to Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's been with the show since 2009. That makes her the longest running housewife, not just in Atlanta, but across the entire Real Housewives franchise. And so she, gave an exclusive to Jason Lee as to why she won't be returning. Let's listen.
They did ask me to come back, but obviously, when you talk about with negotiations, we didn't necessarily have on the same page, and so I just was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take my move, my break.
But you've been one of the few on the franchise that's given them so many other shows too.
Yeah, no, we're still gonna be working together. We got some other things coming.
Okay. So you just
I'm
want
still a
that
part of.
show.
I'm still part of the Bravo family.
Okay.
I still love them. They love me, but I decided that it was time.
So basically that means next season she's going to get a bigger bag and she'll come back. All right, let me...
No, it's not even that, because they've always given me a big bag. It's not even that but like literally it was only like one thing that we didn't necessarily agree upon. You know what I mean? But at the same time, a friend of mine had asked me one day, they were like, okay, well, why do you keep doing it? And I was like, when you're doing something for 14 years, you kind of just do it.
So listen, first of all, shout out to Big Bang Kandi. That's another Taurus. You guys see it, right? I think it's a good move. I think that, 14 years on a reality show is an extremely long time. Long time. This isn't something that we've seen before. This is obviously new. Right. And I think that emotionally it has to take a toll. Obviously, it probably takes a toll on your family. And then, too, you got to take a break to go back and just live life. Not that they're not living life, but to see some other things so that maybe you can come back to the show with something new. But on the plus side, on the flip side for you fans, the Neighborhood Talk has said that they have got the tea exclusively that Portia and Kenya will be returning to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So all of you that are fans of Twirl and Miss Portia, two beautiful women, body down, they'll be making their return. So we're losing out on Kandi, but we're getting some of the other favorites back. So check in, tap in, make sure that you guys are on the lookout for that. Let me know if you have any thoughts about that. Forensic Accountant says, Kandi is indescribably attractive to me. Always has been. I have no idea why. Because she's a Taurus goddess. That's what happens. Lock that down. Forensic Accountant also said that, he said heck. John B., half of Color Me Bad, are white boys who beat Travis Kelce to the fade. MC Search, Pete Nice, the gas face, sure. But I'm not even blaming Travis for this. It is the outside entities that, that's what we call privilege. That's what, I guess on one hand, why would they consider that it might not be anything, maybe they can't see that it looks similar to a black haircut. Maybe they just didn't get it. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe for them, it's a whole completely new thing because there's a difference between black hair and white hair. I don't know, but they gonna know now. They know now. People let them know. Just get it right. One little thing, question, little research.
I think him obviously dating, dating Taylor Swift. There's obviously just more attention.
Correct.
Paying attention on just every little detail, whatnot. It's kind of like Nipsey Hussle to a degree, right? A lot of the, generally speaking, a lot of women weren't really privy or, was up on game about Nipsey Hussle until he dated Lauren London. And it was like, oh, Nipsey Hussle, So I think it's probably one of those situations, him dating, obviously, Taylor Swift. There's just more attention on him.
More attention on him to the other side because trust and believe when he was dating Kayla Nicole, there was a lot of attention on him. Remember, Travis was on an E! reality show where he dated another one. And again, all of these women were, of a browner hue. So, listen. Be the change you wish to see. You can date whoever you want, Travis. I do not have an issue with it, but I know you didn't do it. But stop letting them people try and give your cool factor to that side. We know where it came from. We know.
I'm like, ain't none of his teammates like checking him about this?
I mean, I guess it's not him. And then, too, it's like they're probably to a degree starstruck, too. You know, they're probably little sisters or little cousin like, can we meet Taylor Swift? I mean, you know, and shout out to Patrick Mahomes Sr. He was arrested for DUI the other day, but he will make it to Vegas and he will be there for the Super Bowl. And no more tailgating and shotgunning in the parking lots. Okay? We need you there doing what you do on Sunday. Listen, when we come forward, more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast with a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-DO.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
We're not just a thermometer recording and broadcasting popular opinion. We aim to be a thermostat, transforming the conversation about climate justice in our community. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
Listen up, City of Los Angeles renters that live in rent-controlled units. Landlords can now increase your rent by 4%. Know these 3 facts. The rent increase is allowed February 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2024. An extra 1% per utility up to 6% can be added if the landlord pays the entire gas and electric bill. And illegal rent increase complaints can be filed at housing.lacity.org. Check if you live in a rent-controlled unit and learn more at housing.lacity.org. Be informed, be protected, be at home.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriCanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriCanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You were locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Last thing on Kandi Burruss. One of the, I guess it depends on what side of the fence you're on, but one of the benefits perhaps of Kandi taking a break from Real Housewives of Atlanta, excuse me, is that it opens the door for perhaps the return of Phaedra Parks. So I know that there are some fans that wanted to see Phaedra back. I know that she is on the current season of Married to Medicine, but some people feel like she wasn't quite a fit. So we'll have to see. Shout out to the Peaches, ladies. Okay, so listen. You work for an employer, right? Let's say, you work for an NFL team. What would be one of the things that you probably should not do as far as online? I'm going to say gambling, right? Listen, the Jacksonville Jaguars have themselves a little pickle to get out of. They've recently asked FanDuel, the betting company, to reimburse them some or all of approximately $20 million in stolen money that a former employee lost to the site. But FanDuel's like, nope, we're not doing anything. Now check this out. There's a man, his name is Amit Patel. He was a mid-level finance manager, and he's pled guilty to stealing $22 million from the Jacksonville Jaguars through a virtual credit card system that the Jags used for expenses, right? He lost about $20 million of the funds playing daily fantasy sports at FanDuel. He had been assigned a VIP host, and he lost about another $1 million on DraftKings, right? Here's the thing. The Jaguars and the NFL didn't even know what was going on. FanDuel reached out to them to let them know. But they said that a settlement, they don't think so. They feel like they got the money fair and clear, and that it's not their problem that they would have to forfeit back to the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? The Jaguars obviously aren't commenting on this, but Patel embezzled the funds over 3.5 years, according to the federal documents, right? In December, he pled guilty to fraud charges in federal court, and he's facing up to 30 years in prison and a $500,000 fine. He'll be sentenced next month. So, according to sources, FanDuel alerted the NFL to his betting in January 2023 after he placed some traditional sports bets in Tennessee. The amounts of money, the type of wagers, it triggered in an investigation. They're not really sure how or why, but the Jags had no knowledge of the stinging, no knowledge that he was that in the weeds as far as gambling until they were notified. So, listen, we're going to see where this case goes, but their positioning is gambling sites have the duty to perform anti-money laundering and, the know your clients procedures. He was basically a high-stakes, high-volume daily fantasy player. They said that his bets date as far back to 2017, and his play escalated in 2021 and 2022. And he was racking up big losses. His name on there was Parlay Picker, and he was believed to have racked up playing in elite competitions where the buy-in was as much as $24,000. And they said that he lost big and often. He was legendary bad, according to some of the reports. And they said that, his coworkers didn't bat an eye at his lifestyle, which included chartered jets, luxury hotels, multiple vehicles, cryptocurrency, country clubs, spa memberships, blah, 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 blah. And a watch that cost about $95,000. They just thought his family was wealthy. But no, he was embezzling. Listen, we'll have more on that later, more trending topics, more headlines. But this is your reminder that KBLA Talk 1580 is your election information station. And we want you to check out the results of the first ever survey of Black LA County voters. So this groundbreaking study was done to help us get a better idea of what's going on in the hearts and minds of Black voters and the Black community here in the Los Angeles, Southern California area. So some of the important findings that were discovered: The community's views on crime, criminal justice, and other key issues that are not being addressed by the DA candidates are important. You know, who we're voting for as far as the district attorney is wide open. And there's a lot of information there. You need to check it out for yourself. Go hit up the website, KBLA1580.com. Of course, there's more information on other candidates. There's interviews there, so you can tap in with that. Check out anything that you may have missed. Get educated. We are the one-stop shop to get all of your information, get all of your needs for the upcoming election. And while you're there, take a moment to fill out our climate justice survey. It's important. It's something that is going to become more and more important as we continue. You know, we've had the hottest summers on record. How many years in a row? You see what's happening right now with these floods. So get into it. No other station in Southern California is covering this important election like we are. You know, at KBLA Talk 1580, we got your back. Andy?
I was just going to say there's another reason why these billionaires are purchasing bunkers.
Here's the thing, and we can talk about this at another time. Purchase the bunkers all you like. If the big one comes or whatever, do you want to be here really post that? Do you? Would you rather be taken out with the initial punch or trying to fight for survival against zombies, disease, trying to forage and find food? I really don't know. I'm just saying, these are the things that you have to consider if you want to be in that bunker.
Well, apparently some of these bunkers you could live for 20 plus years.
Yeah, but 20 plus years with who? To do what?
I mean, they got some communities down there.
Let me tell you, communities, that's how people go crazy and end up, you know, stuff. You know, yeah. I don't know. Look, would you want to be Will Smith in what is the movie?
I Am Legend?
Yes.
I wouldn't, but you know, I mean, I guess anything to, you know, try to prolong your life. I understand it. I mean, hell, Rick Ross even mentioned that he's about to, you know, get himself a bunker.
You know, we'll have to see how this.
White folks, y'all not leaving us behind.
Listen, I don't know. Me and my family, we need to all go together, you know, because I don't know, some of y'all, I don't know if they could be putting together a gun with a nail glue and a piece of wood. I don't know. The zombie apocalypse scares me. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics, more headlines. Shout out to forensic accounting, money laundering. We definitely needed your input on that story. What do you think? What should the Jacksonville Jaguars do? $22 million. Just take that L and tighten up your systems, I suppose. Listen, more trending topics, more headlines. Ice Spice. She went through it this weekend regarding her performances. We're going to get into that, plus more trending topics and headlines. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
So beautiful. I ain't slipping her down with a extra. I'm talking to all the Bloods and all the Crips. Throw down your rag and get on the right track, man. It's time to fight unite and be a black man. Tone Locust on a positive change. Cause remember, we all in the same game.
Being the pimps that we are. We ain't speaking of situation that is going too far. Here at home, in the ghettos of LA, where a young black girl is not promised to see the next day. Cause we used to come from the streets before we made beats, but fools just lay and pray on the weed. It don't depend on the color of a rag.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the